How's it? Cause it's time to walaau with me, Mr. Walaau19. Join us as we meet your uncles, your aunties, your brothers, your sisters, your brothers, sisters, uncles, cousins, neighbors, grandmother, all the ohana. We'll take you to breathtaking places you've never been. Meet famous people you've never seen. Kick back and cruise, you know the ruse.
The day has to end. I'm so happy we made new friends. We'll meet tomorrow, sometime, same place. Looking forward to see your smiling face. Walaau, the day has to end. I'm so happy we made new friends. We'll meet tomorrow, sometime, same place. Looking forward to see your smiling face. Walaau, 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 walaau.
Aloha Kauai, mahalo nui loa, and thank you for joining us this week in yet another exciting and informative episode of walaau19. Right around the corner, as we all know, is the annual Lights on Rice Street Parade and, of course, the festivities there at our historic Kauai County building. Now, what we're going to do is we have an opportunity to speak for the 23rd year, one of Santa's favorite elf, none other than our very dear friend Elizabeth Freeman. We'll get to learn a little bit about the lights, we'll get to learn a little bit about the decorations, and we'll also get to know the founders, the original founders of the holiday season that is well known to all of us here on Kauai, the late Josie and Joseph Chansky. We'll have an opportunity to interview Josie Chansky. We'll also, of course, be able to speak to Elizabeth Freeman. But one of the things in the news recently is about Kauai Springs. Now, what is Kauai Springs? I met Jim Satterfield probably about 15 years ago when he was originally doing Kauai Springs, helped out a lot in the community, and I wondered what was Kauai Springs all about. You remember there was a little bit of a hiatus. I don't know everything, but I do understand that they are once again operational, Kauai Springs. Let's learn a little bit about the water that we have here in our Garden Island of Kauai, very delicious water, and let's learn a little about the original beginnings of Kauai Springs here on our Garden Island of Kauai, and here, of course, is Jim Satterfield.
Well, we've been delivering Kauai Springs for about 3 years now with approved sources from the county, FDA, DEC, all the approved sources, and been delivering to homes and offices till about June of last year when a complaint was filed. And at that point, we were told that we needed a use permit. So just like all of the other permits necessary, we went to acquire a use permit. And we weren't quite akamai as to what was involved in getting a use permit, but it involved a public hearing. And it was during that time that I realized, about halfway through the first 3 public hearings, I realized I better get an attorney because they got a cheerleading squad here that is against just about everything that anybody wants to do on Kauai.
You know, we're not here to figure out what's right and wrong, but we're here to let the viewing audience know, as we speak, your operation, as we speak, can be ceased at any moment.
That's correct. We've been notified by the county that within 15 days that we have to cease and desist or go through the court system, which is, it's really hard for a citizen, a regular citizen, to quit his job, start the dream that he had, and then have enough capital to go through the court system. We would hope the county would have helped us a little bit more rather than send us to the court.
What made you get into the water business, and perhaps briefly explain what the water business is all about?
Well, when we noticed that after Nikki there was only one source that we knew of, which was the Kahili Mountain source, and it was gravity fed, and the mineral analysis on it was just incredible, and the taste of the water and the pristine purity of it was amazing. So I worked out at PMRF for 10 years with this dream in my mind, and started doing the research and calling up the people and getting the leases and the agreements and calling the FDA and the EPA, doing all the necessary research and development to be able to put the water in a bottle, because it's not as simple as that. You really have, it's the most highly regulated substance on the planet Earth, and you really have to follow up with every agency. So basically I opened it up to the federal, state, and county, and they gave me all the approvals necessary to bottle water, and we started in business. I gave notice at my job at PMRF, and aloha voi.
How good is the water that Kauai Springs provides to the residents and visitors on Kauai?
Well, we print our mineral analysis on the label. Its pH is perfect. It's 7.2. It has total dissolved solids of 94, which is a really low level of total dissolved solids. Calcium is 8.9. Silica is an elasticity for your skin. We've been approached by the Japanese. It 24.0 is high in silica and actually gives your skin some quality of youth. And the magnesium is 3.26 and potassium is 0.39. So more than having the minerals in the water fill your body up with the necessary minerals or for day-to-day life, it's more of a taste that the minerals give it.
Well, quite a number of years ago, the Kaloa Sugar Company developed a water system because they needed to bring more water down to Kaloa. And I'm not the great historian, but I do know what's in existence now and what was in existence for the last 10 or 15 years. Over the years, Kaloa Sugar Company and then Grow Farm, which took over Kaloa Sugar Company, developed the water system, and they developed actually 3 sources of water. 2 were tunnel sources, and 1 was a surface water source. And they're all up behind Kahili Mountain Park. And so there's a several mile pipeline down to Kaloa, and there's a tank right along Maluhia Road here that stores the water for service to the community. And it was originally for the sugar company, but it serviced virtually all of the camps in Kaloa, all of the housing area in early Kaloa days. Over the years, due to various reasons, EPA rules, etc., I think the early 90s, the Grow Farm got rid of the surface system because there were some new rules in the 90s regarding surface water treatment, etc. So Grow Farm gave up that source, which was about half of the water, and still used the 2 tunnel sources, which were very pristine, clean water. And as an aside, several years they have won the best water, tastiest water in Hawaii contest, which is held every year at a water conference. And so it is good water. It's nice and cool water. It used to run steadily to the mill, and I used to leave it running in the mill, and so the drinking fountains were just constantly running, and so it would be nice cool water from way up in Kahili, and everybody did enjoy that, and they still enjoy it. People like to go bottle their own water, take their water home. But in any case, the 2 tunnel sources, well, in the late 90s, the Grow Farm decided to cut off the 1 tunnel source, again because of EPA rules regarding surface or under the influence of surface water. So now there's just 1 source, which is a very clean tunnel source, not under the influence of surface, so it's just great water. And it services Kahili Mountain Park, comes down and services a few houses in Kaloa. Most of the old camps in the Kaloa town have been converted to county water over the years, so now there's very few houses being serviced, but there are a number of houses along Wailau Road, etc. And a bunch of the water is thrown away. I mean, it's just because it runs out of the mountain and comes down, and whatever is not used just runs off into the stream and down to the ocean. So anybody that can, utilize that water, hey, that's great. It would be nice to have it used, and Kauai Springs is for a number of years has bottled the water.
Well, as far as geologists and all the scientists can figure is that there is a layer of about 3,000 feet of geological strata that's made up of various minerals and copper, zinc, all kinds of minerals that are non-detectable when it comes down to the water aquifer. But it takes a number of years to get to the aquifer. The way they found the source was in 1903 they started digging when they would find a weeping area in the mountain, and they would dig tunnels into the mountain, and that would fill up the tunnels, and they would lay an 8-inch steel pipe in there and run it all the way down to the sugar mill and to the town of Koloa. And at that point there was no chlorination. They didn't even know what chlorine was. It wasn't until later on, I think in the 60s, when they finally started regulating it with the EPA, DEC, and the regulatory agencies.
So there are some people that says, local style growing up, we used to just turn on the faucet, drink water out of our hands, and maybe some people will say, it's such a precious resource. Why sell the water? What's the differences between way back then and perhaps right now?
Well, one of the big issues is that in order to sell the water or to distribute the water to the public, you have to make sure that it is pristine. It doesn't contain any bacteria of any kind from any animals. That's why it's important that it is a closed water system and it's protected by the FDA and never sees daylight till it hits the bottle. Now, the difference between that and drinking out of the stream or out of a rock or somewhere like Millilea, when you go up there, there's that particular source. You don't have the regulations and the control that you would if you put the water in a bottle. Now, another thing is the county water, I believe, has chlorine and fluoride in it. Now, those are I haven't seen the documents of the levels, but there's definitely a taste difference. And once people start drinking Kauai Springs, it's really hard to go back.
How popular has bottled water become?
It's surpassed all of the sodas and beers and juices and everything, and has become the #1 beverage in the world.
Of this Kahili Mountain and the water that naturally runs out, what percentage do you use, and maybe what percentage is, just washes out into the stream or perhaps washes out of the ocean?
From the best that I can figure, and these are numbers that were calculated through scientists, that there's about 70,000 gallons a day that's being wasted or washing out into the ocean, however you want to say it. And we are using a Manini amount, which is about 5,000 gallons a day. And that is not what we're using now, but that's what we would use at maximum capacity, because we only have the property for 10 years. It's a temporary 10-year lease.
Aloha, my name is Tracy Anderson. I am the program coordinator for the Save Our Shearwaters program here on Kauai. Every year on Kauai, young endangered Niue's shearwaters fly out to sea from their burrows in the mountains where they were born. They take this first flight at night with no parental guidance. They are attracted to bright lights, become confused, and hit unseen objects and then fall to the ground. Although temporarily stunned, the majority of the birds are uninjured and most can be returned to the wild. In cooperation with the Kauai Island Utility Cooperative and the Division of Forestry and Wildlife, the Kauai Humane Society urges our residents and visitors to help save our shearwaters. Please go to our website at kauaihumane.org to learn how. Once again, my name is Tracy Anderson. You can reach us at 635-5117, 635-5117. And thank you again for helping us save these amazing birds, 90% of which only nest here on this beautiful island of Kauai. Mahalo.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Carano. I'm a sales and leasing rep with King Auto Center. We have an extensive inventory of new and used vehicles from Hondas and Rams to Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas. Let me help you find the vehicle that best suits your family and your needs. Call me at 245-4788 and ask for Vanessa Carano. Again, that's 245-4788 Vanessa Carano. Hope to see you soon.
Healthier is quality care close to home. Healthier is state-of-the-art facilities and the largest and best team of doctors on Kauai. It's specialty care and caring in a special way. Healthier is Kauai's only comprehensive bone and joint center with expertise in joint replacement, hands, feet, ankles, and sports medicine. Wilcox Health, creating a healthier Hawaii.
Welcome back, Kauai. We are talking about Kauai Springs. My understanding that Kauai Springs is once again operating. I'm going to get an opportunity to speak to Kauai Springs, but we did this interview back in 2007. Now, they were forced to cease operation several years ago. Again, they're right back. Here's a little bit of a story and a little bit of a conclusion as to what Kauai Springs was all about. And we originally interviewed Jim Satterfield back in 2007.
So let me explain to you a little bit about how the process works. It comes down off the mountain at a tremendous amount of volume, and it comes into our bottling facility in a 2-inch main. And the 2-inch main goes through a micron filter, a carbon filter, and an ultraviolet light. And those three pretty much take the place of chlorine. All of Europe is on UV light. Then it travels through that 2-inch pipe and goes over to where the bottling takes place. And at that point, when the water comes out of the pipe into the bottle, it's the first time that the water sees daylight. So basically, the water is captured without air or any kind of outside interference and never sees daylight till it hits the bottle. And once we get the bottles back from our consumer, it goes into the holding room. Okay, we take the bottles out of there, and they go through a 3-step process with 120-degree water in each one of those 3-step processes. The first step is a 2% biodegradable soap that is 120 degrees for 1 minute. The second step is a 2% chlorine solution that is for 1 minute at 120 degrees. And the third step is 100% spring water for 2 minutes solid. Okay, once it's rinsed for 2 minutes solid, then the residual is gone from the rinsing process, and it's able to be processed in the bottling room and ready for bottling.
And Jim, as we mentioned a little earlier, as we speak, you may or may not be in operation. Win, lose, or draw, wouldn't it be a great idea for someone, whether it's the state, the county, or what have you, that water that is not used or just run off, wouldn't that be good to contain in some sort of watershed for maybe down the line for emergency, or just water that we can obviously use in a drought-like situation, or more importantly for health-wise and for sanitary purposes?
Yeah, that is a great idea, Dickie, and for you to say that is real easy, but the fact is you're dealing with the government, and common sense doesn't really come about as that. When I went down to the county, I would be able to work with them to be able to save the water that we have that's running off into the ocean, to put it in possibly a couple of 1 million gallon tanks up on the hill, and regulate the water to where you could shut it off, because basically that line can be shut off, and it can be regulated by the Knudsen family and the Knudsen Trust, because it is on their property. It's basically like shutting off the hose in your own yard.
What would be the ultimate win-win situation, and is that situation likely?
Well, now that it's in the courts, and it'll be in the appellate courts soon, the Planning Commission was dealing with a water issue, and they are a land use committee. And so I believe that the courts are going to be the only ones to be able to decide this. Hopefully we'll get a stay from the local district court and then be able to resolve this by presenting all of the issues, because there was a 210-day time frame of which we ran out. They pretty much exhausted all of the agencies that I could go to, and all of the agencies that we did go to came back with favorable responses, and yet we may be enforced to cease and desist just because of a time matter.
You'd want to keep that source, and you'd want to always continue using it because it's very valuable, and it is a very good source of nice clean water, which it's gravity flow, doesn't take any energy. It's just picked up from the mountains and flows down to the ocean, and it's picked up and used. So it would be very nice to keep it. Hey, it's wonderful to bottle since it's such good water. Hey, why not bottle it and sell it and have some local kauai water to drink around here? It would be nice.
Primarily, I'm here to support Kauai Springs Water Company because I was told that they were told to vacate and decease from business. And after 4 years, I wondered why that would happen, especially when there wasn't any reason for it. And I thought there would be some people here from the county that I could question the reason for it. I feel that Kauai is small enough that they could use good competition, and competition is always healthy. In all business, I have seen that, and this is why I am here to support them. I see no reason why a company should be driven out just by being told that there is a certain agenda by competition telling them that it's illegal to bottle water that is on the ground.
It would be devastating because there would be no more Kauai Springs water. And Jim's only been in business, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, but he's made an impact. And talking to Eric Knudsen, he said some time ago there was a tasting of various water on Kauai, and this water from Kahili up there was number one. It was rated as, some of the best water on the island. So I think it would be a shame for us not to be able to get that water.
I think it would be a big impact because if they were forced to shut down, that water, the delicious water, would be just a privilege of a few people in the Kauai area. Very few, maybe there's only 13 or 14 houses left hooked up to that system. So it takes away another choice in the marketplace. In the free marketplace, you have a lot of choices of water, and there's a lot of other waters out there that are bottled besides Kauai Springs, but you take one more choice of locally produced water off the shelf for our local consumers.
Thank you, Kauai. I'm going to try to get as much information that I can about Kauai Springs. I do understand it's operational. I don't know what the legalities are. I hope they can personally continue to run here in our Garden Island Kauai. It's great water for all of us here on our Garden Island Kauai. We'll have to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be speaking with one of Santa's elves. Of course, the Festival of Lights featuring our very dear friend, Elizabeth Freeman.
Get ready to light the lights this Friday at 6 p.m. at the historic County Building. The opening ceremony of the Festival of Lights features the Kauai Corral and a spectacular lighting countdown led by Santa, followed by the parade. Then step inside the County Building and let the magic begin. It's a Kauai-style holiday wonderland, and Santa and Mrs. Claus will be waiting for you every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening from 6 to 8 p.m., even Christmas Eve. Mele Kalikimaka!
Aloha Kauai. I am Michelle Mora, and I am chair-elect for the Kauai Chamber of Commerce. I chair the Kauai Military Affairs Council. We've been in existence for about 3 years. It's a very important committee because it's one of the 3 top economic pillars in Kauai. We bring in at least $94 million of contracts to Kauai and salaries in the area of $24 million. So again, they're very, very important to Kauai. We do many things with the Hawaii Military Affairs Council. We actually oversee all of the Hawaiian Islands to make sure that we are the conduit of information and resources between the Kauai Chamber of Commerce members and our military ohana. So that includes PMRF and their sailors, and the 1,000 contractors that they have on island, the independent civilians. We also take care of our Coast Guard, our National Guard, and also we are very, very valued veterans. So you participate in the parade, we participate in Memorials Day, of course, 3rd of July, the Best of the West out on PMRF, and we invite you all to help us take care of our military ohana. Again, I am Michelle Mora. I'm with the Kauai Chamber of Commerce, chair-elect this year, and I'm the chair of the Kauai Military Affairs Council. We invite you to participate in different councils and committees under the Kauai Chamber. And if you want to get more information, please call the Kauai Chamber office. Aloha and mahalo.
Feel the beauty of this sign up, down from the beaches to the highest mountain. Different people living as one, in harmony under the sun on the island, in the middle of the sea. On the
Puakea Golf Course. Call for your tee times today.
Welcome back, Kauai. It is that time of the year. As we all know, Friday, December 6th, boy, does the time go by so fast, is the annual Lights on Rice Street Parade. Prior to that, of course, we're going to do the Lights Festival there at the historic Kauai County Building. We had an opportunity. She's been doing it, God bless her heart, for 23 years in a row. Elizabeth Freeman. Let's talk to one of Santa's very favorite elves, Elizabeth Freeman.
It's not only that time of the year, it's the 23rd year for the Festival of Lights at the Historic County Building. And I'm so thrilled to still be doing this and to have the opportunity to share with all these fabulous students the beauty of working with what I call raw materials. Other people call them recyclables, but the beauty is that I look at the world and see everything as a potential for art. And whether you call it recyclable or whatever it is, you can make something incredible that you can not ever find at a big box store, and you can make more beautiful decorations by yourself just with your own ingenuity and creativity. So we are working here today at Santa's Workshop with the students from Hui O'Okipa, and also with the Kapa'a High Key Club, and last week we had the Kapa'a High Interact Club. The students are so talented, and every year they come to Santa's Workshop and I give them a deep tutorial on how to make the beautiful new decorations out of what some people call recycled materials.
Now, Elizabeth Freeman, very quickly, I just want to ask you this question, because you had made mention the 23rd, and we all know, and we'll talk about Joe and Josie Chansky.
Yes.
But does many of the students come back after a year or 2 or 3 or 7 or 12 or 10? I mean, like,
yes.
what are their reactions or their responses of their thoughts way back when they get to go to the county building and see what they made oh so well back then?
Well, what's very exciting is to have some of the students that I worked with come in with their children, because I've been doing this for 23 years, and they're married now, and they say, my mother told me all about Auntie Josie's house, and I want to introduce you to my little one, and here's what I made on that tree. So it's that sense of continuity, it's that sense of the, the historicity in the community and keeping a legend alive. And it means a great deal to them to come back. And we have many students that have been with us all 4 years of high school. And then they come back again and help out. So it's really rewarding.
So when you speak about very rewarding, as the history books will tell us in Kauai history, Josie and Joe Chansky, you were ready to say to Josie, can't wait it to be happening. She says, Joe passed. I can't prolong this. You said you can't stop it. You bought much of the deal. You called
Yes.
your very dear friend.
Auntie Mary Ann Kusaka, and I was ready. I said I want to donate all of the Auntie Josie pieces that I bought at her garage sale to the county, and I thought she would just, find a place for them. Instead, she said the key words. She said, Elizabeth, you're an artist and designer. If we find a building to put it up in, will you put it up? And I said, yes. And this is now 24 years later, because I talked to her in 1996. I founded Festival of Lights in 1997, and I have been doing it ever since. And I want you to know a little bit about Auntie Josie and the Christmas house. What was very meaningful is that I now have a 33-year-old son, and I took him to Auntie Josie's house when he was really little, and I went year after year, and I knew Auntie Josie, and I recognized what she was doing as true folk art. She wasn't a trained artist, but she looked at materials, like jelly cups from restaurants or bottle caps or, whatever, as raw materials for art. And she was just compelled to make beautiful decorations out of them for the holidays. And so when she said she wasn't going to put it up anymore, I was heartbroken, because I have to say, I've lived on Kauai for 36 years, moving from the mainland where, as I said, tradition lasted about 15 minutes till the next developer. And I went, Kauai can't lose that tradition. And that's why I got those decorations. And then Mary Ann Kusaka, our wonderful former mayor, said magic words. And that's why I've been doing this ever since, because I think tradition is very important for the health of a community.
So if you just joined us, we are here with Santa's favorite elf, Elizabeth Freeman. I can't even believe that we're doing the interview because the time flies by so fast. But when is the Festival of Lights?
Okay, the Festival of Lights opens Friday, December 6th. And it will run every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening throughout November through Christmas Eve, including Christmas Eve from 6 to 8 p.m. and the Saturday afterwards, that would be December 28th. So it'll be there open all of those evenings, and we not only have Santa and Mrs. Claus ready to greet people with all free photos with Santa, the best place on the island for photos with Santa. We have at least 10 students from varying high schools, including, I mentioned 3 high schools already. They will all return, but we will also be joined by the students from the Kauai High Key Club. And they act as our docents. They stand by the trees and let people know what we actually made these decorations out of. Like, you can't believe it, but this fabulous honu was made out of a Slurpee lid, and the face is made out of bottle caps, and this is the bottom of a recycled plastic water bottle. This honu body is made out of can you tell what it is? I'm going to tell you.
Shave ice.
Close. It's a cherry tomato container from the mainland that was actually sent to me, because when I visited a family and I said, oh my God, I love that, but we don't have them on Kauai way back when. And they saved them up for me and mailed them to me. They now became the bodies of our honus. And then, of course, we have just the flat plastic that come from, containers like, you have the lid on a sushi platter, the big flat plastic container, or on the smaller containers that are the clamshell open and close that have your salads from the market or put Lay's in them. That's what these are made out of. So beautiful. So the bottom line is we make remarkably beautiful decorations here at Santa's Workshop. It's all on display at the Historic County Building, and we can't thank people enough because, for instance, last week for all these students, and we have anywhere about 25 plus students, lunches came from Keoki's Paradise. Today, the lunches were donated by the Hyatt. For our other volunteers, lunches were donated from Duke's Canoe Club. We have this coming week, the lights are going up in the historic county building park. Obviously, they're overseen by Tavita Manufanua, who has helped me for 24 years. But we have the Kauai Fire Department, we have the Hawaiian Telcom on the boom trucks, we have the people from KIUC and from, I wanted to say Oceanic, that's how far back I go, but it's
Spectrum Cable.
It's Spectrum Reach now. So all of those people come because it's really a community gathering to make this happen, to make it beautiful and magical for the children and families island-wide and all our visitors.
So Elizabeth Freeman, let me ask you this question. What motivates you and why do you do what you do? Because there's just a few people that do what they do on Kauai relentlessly. Why are you doing what you're doing? I mean, this is, do you think it's crazy? Or why are you doing what you're doing?
Actually, I think I've been given a gift. I've been given the opportunity to work with these remarkable students, to tell each and every one of them that they are truly creative, that they can look deeply at something, that they can think different, that they can think outside the box, and that that's a gift that is going to help them throughout their life. And then I get to stand inside the building and have people come in and go, and it's magic. And I feel that I'm very blessed by being given that opportunity to create a magical wonderland where people can come in and feel welcomed. They can feel that they are in a place of remarkable beauty where so much care and attention has been given, and where Aunty Josie's historical pieces are showcased. So it's keeping a tradition going, keeping her honored. I feel that it's a gift that's given to me, that I get to perpetuate this and that I get to still be involved. I'm making magic. And not only that, when people walk in, especially the children, and they're happy and they're excited, that's in their memories. So I am planting the seeds of magical memories so that throughout people's lives, when they think back on something special they did with their family, maybe during some tough times or who knows when, they'll be able to remember the magic that they felt inside the historic county building, and that's the beauty of the Festival of Lights.
Okay, so I have a couple of comments. Comment number one
Yes.
is the coolest thing about it is that the children and the young adults from almost a generation
Yes.
will look at things and they will talk about their experiences to locals and visitors
Yes.
alike and let them know what they were thinking about way back when, because that's a true story.
Yes.
But more importantly, what I wanted to just say is that you're going to go down as a living treasure because this is relentless, and this is something that only maybe, probably you could pull it off. But there's a lot of cheerleaders that back you up, and we don't have enough time to tell you thank you. But I know I speak on behalf of the Marianne Kusakas and the Josie Chanskys and the County of Kauai, the Brian Baptistes, the Mayor
Yes.
Cavallios, the Mayor Kawakamis, the
Yes.
councils, because this is, if somebody doesn't take the bull by its horn, it'll drop, and it's hard to replenish something when it's not
I understand.
viable.
And I remember decades ago asking about why weren't there lights on Rice Street just for the community? And I think it was the council member Kaipo Singh who said, oh, well, we used to put lights up many years ago, but I guess we just got tired and there were no more lights. So basically, I'm carrying the torch. I'm carrying the torch of enthusiasm and a belief in the brilliance of creativity and of beauty, and wanting to offer that to the community relentlessly.
And arguably, this is not just the biggest party of Kauai, and not only is it the most participated as far as spectators are concerned, but this is a parade that is tenfold more participants than the spectators, and the spectators is like choke.
it's, oh my God, on that opening night, I gotta hand it to Dennis Fujimoto. Started the parade the year after we opened at the county building, and now it's carried on by the Lihue Rotary Club, and that parade is getting bigger and bigger and better, and it's just so magnificent. It's just a wonderland to be in Lihue that evening. But let me remind you all, come in early and don't have to race traffic at the very end. Get in there, get your seat, and enjoy yourself. And I will tell you a little bit about our opening ceremony. At our opening ceremony, which is 6 to 6:30 on the Friday, December 6th, we have the Kauai Corral. They have been with us every opening night, every opening ceremony for all 23 years. How is that for commitment and beauty? And you can actually hear the caroling and feel really part of the season. So it's very, very special. And then at the very end of our ceremony, which is from 6 to 6:30, we have Santa arrive and lead the lighting countdown. The park is dark until that time, and then it's pitch black out, and it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, blah, 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 and boom, the lights go on, and it's really magical in that park.
Well, do us a favor, Elizabeth Freeman. You had mentioned many of your partnerships and those that have helped you, but I'm sure that you would like to share this opportunity to thank the people that have, like clockwork. Hey, Elizabeth, but please say your.
I'm going to actually thank a few more, because when you all drive by the park and you see those beautiful lights in the trees, please know that Service Rentals and Toolmasters donates the genies to hoist the fire department up into the trees, and then Toolmaster does donate a flatbed truck to be able to for us to take all these trees and displays over to the Historic County Building and then back again, and that while the park elves, as I call them, are making that a magical wonderland, we're having lunches donated by Poe's Kitchen, the Fish Express, and Mark's Place. So everybody island-wide is helping out, and that's what makes it so, meaningful for me. For instance, when I call Grace at, Spectrum Reach or Liana Siniga and at Hawaiian Telcom, and they all go, oh, it's that time of year again? One year, Liani said, I was wondering when you'd call me. So in other words, they're expecting it, and they're reaching out to be part of the community. And then we do have volunteers that are Santa and Mrs. Claus. We have adult docents that are helping out. I mean, it is a huge coming together. I think I end up rallying over 250 people to come together to create Festival of Lights. So it really is, if it takes a village, this is a big village. This is an island-wide village to help create Festival of Lights. So we're so happy. I know that Aunty Josie's spirit shines over us when we are in the Historic County Building, because we are still honoring her. And I am trying to honor the students from every year, from the decorations on all the trees, and our intention of telling the students and everybody who visited that they can make decorations easily and more beautiful than they can find in any store. So that's what we're trying to encourage them to do, and to think different, and to recognize that even Slurpee lids can become magical honus or whatever else we want to transform them into. So art is about transformation, and this is an opportunity to witness the magical transformation that has gone on at the Historic County Building. So I want to welcome you all to come to our opening night on December 6th, and it's 6 to 6:30, and then we will be open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. through Christmas Eve and December 28th. And then I want to thank you, Dickie Chang, and you, Bruce Smalling, for coming year after year and being part of our festivity. And just remarkably, it's just so meaningful to be a part of Walaau. So I'm going to turn to the camera and actually say, Walaau.
Thanks again to one of Santa's favorite elves, of course, our very dear friend Elizabeth Freeman. And thank you so much for what you're doing for our community here in our Garden Island, Kauai. Now, when Elizabeth took over, I don't think she knew that she was going to be handling this for for 23 years. What a great, great sport, and what a great, great resident here in our Garden Island, Kauai. Now, many of you folks might remember the late Joseph and Josie Chansky. Josie Chansky and Joseph Chansky sadly had passed years ago. We did have an opportunity to speak to Josie Chansky, and it was the last time they were able to chat with her there at the Festival of Lights. And of course, several years ago she had passed, so God bless the Chansky Ohana. But here's an interview with Josie Chansky telling you the real reason for the season here on our Garden Island in Kauai.
Wonderful evening. Yes, I'm very pleased. I'm very happy to see all the kids with big smiles. Everybody's so thrilled, and that makes me happy.
This may seem as though the very biggest of all biggest as far as crowds are concerned. What's your feeling like to know that through the word of mouth, this is the place to be to start off our Christmas season?
It's amazing. I mean, to see the crowd. I mean, you know, is as though the whole Kauai is over here, you know? It's beautiful. It's very amazing.
Now, Josie Chansky, everyone knows that yourself and your late husband, Joseph Chansky, invited everyone up at Kapahi, up in Kapa'a. But I understand, as the story goes, you actually started this as a very young lady while living in Honolulu.
Yeah, we started this in Oahu. We were living up on Camp Heights, and we started to do a little bit outside, and then it looked good. And then the following year, well, I started to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And before you know it, I was doing inside a house, and I was making things that, you know, from discarded things, make them come alive, you know. And people would be knocking at my door, asking if we could come in. And I said, yes, you may come in. And from that day, that year forward, I had to leave my screen door open because there were lines and lines of people all the way from up my place all the way out to the road. And that's how it all started. You know, I even had people from the hospital, the children from the hospital, come in crutches, coming in chairs and stuff like that.
You know, interestingly, you know, what you did for the love of God and for your heart, you know, along with your husband that you basically dragged along for him to come along with the ride. But I understand that there were various newspaper, polls kind of voting you every year as a place to go as a visitor attraction during Christmas. But that wasn't really the goal as far as competition. It was more for the benefit of the children and for the season.
Oh yeah, mostly for the benefit of the children. And as I said, it's for the love of God and the love of all the children. Because I don't have any kids and I love children. And to see their smiling faces and the big eyes, you know, mommy look, that makes me so happy.
Can you estimate how many people you've opened the doors through, not only on Oahu and Kauai, that not only graced your property, but certainly walked through your house, a decorated house?
Oh my goodness, one season alone, inside of my house, I had 18 to 20,000 people at one season alone, not counting the people that was outside. And you double it up, you know. And then when we came to to Kauai, we had a lot of people, thousands of people come by again over at my place.
You know, and Josie Chansky, not only this evening, but year after year after year, it must be an incredible thrill for yourself because they're grown adults that are friends of yours, that their children and now their children's children are actually seeing the beauty of a lot of history in your hard work as far as sharing your joy and aloha to everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I really appreciate that. And to see them happy, you know, it gives me a great joy to continue and to make more and go on and on. It's all for them.
I think everybody in Kapa'a and everybody certainly up at Kapahi all remembers where you live. Do you miss having this decorations and the festivities right in your own house and in your own backyard?
Yes, I certainly do. It was nice. I enjoyed every moment of it. And I enjoyed making all these things, you know. It was, I miss all that a great deal.
And for the benefit of the viewing audience, as the Christmas season goes on and you start to, you pack everything up and you store it with love and care, are you already starting to work and think about what you want to do for the following year?
No way. I just let it out of my mind. When the time comes, then I get started.
Tonight here at our historic Kauai County building, there were literally thousands of people that walked through this historic building. There are so many ornaments, and basically your thumbprint is in a lot of what we see here tonight. What an amazing, amazing display of, I guess, things that are dating back 20, 30, 40, maybe even upwards to over 50 years old.
Right, exactly. I can't believe this. I just can't. But it's done. It's happened.
You know, we really want to take this opportunity. It is an honor and a pleasure, Josie Chansky, to see you year after year after year. But we really and humbly thank you for giving many of the volunteers and many of the dreamers inspiration to continue this on. As you know, next year is the 10th anniversary. How fast time flies, but this has gotten to be probably one of the highlights and certainly one of the signature events of all of Kauai, and we certainly would like to share our aloha to you and your thoughts and enabling us to carry on the tradition.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Josie Chansky, for yourself personally, we had chatted a little earlier. You pray every day. Why don't you leave a beautiful holiday message to what do you feel is really the real meaning of the season and how we should treat our fellow men?
The real meaning of the season is Jesus. The reason for Christmas is Jesus. And lots of people forgetting that, and that's not right. It's supposed to be, it is because of the Lord Jesus was born. Lots of people, they do a lot of decorations and they forget that this was because of Jesus. And they're nice to everybody, giving gifts and things to everybody, but they forget that this is not only the time to give gifts and to be nice, but all year round. You have to be nice with, people all year round, not only Christmas time, Christmas time is not the only time to give, to care, to love, and to share, but it's all year round,
Healthier is quality care close to home. Healthier is state-of-the-art facilities and the largest and best team of doctors on Kauai. It's specialty care and caring in a special way. Healthier is Kauai's only comprehensive bone and joint center with expertise in joint replacement, hands, feet, ankles, and sports medicine. Wilcox Health, creating a healthier Hawaii.
Captain Andy's sailing. Nobody has more fun. Captain Andy's, the ultimate sailing adventure.
Get ready to light the lights this Friday at 6 p.m. at the historic County Building. The opening ceremony of the Festival of Lights features the Kauai Corral and a spectacular lighting countdown led by Santa, followed by the parade. Then step inside the County Building and let the magic begin. It's a Kauai-style holiday wonderland, and Santa and Mrs. Claus will be waiting for you every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening from 6 to 8 p.m., even Christmas Eve. Mele Kalikimaka!
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Walaau. As always, we'd like to sincerely thank each and every one of you for watching Walaau, making us a part of your weekend and week off festivities here on our beautiful Garden Island of Kauai. Walaau can be seen every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 7 a.m., 12 noon, 4 p.m., 7 p.m., 12 midnight, Spectrum Cable Channel 128. And when we do get it posted, you can all watch Walaau episodes on YouTube, Walaau Kauai. That's W-A-L-A-A-U, Kauai, K-A-U-A-I. Walaau Kauai on YouTube and of course Spectrum Cable, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 7 a.m., 12 noon, 4 p.m., 7 p.m., 12 midnight. Please help to kokua the sponsors. Obviously, it is the sponsors that make Walaau possible week in and week out. Also, do remind you, the Festival of Lights, the Lights on Rice Street Parade is going to be happening next week, Friday, 6 o'clock p.m. at the historic Kauai County building there in beautiful downtown Lihue. More information coming out. It is time for us to heli on. As always, let's all continue to take care of our families, our friends, and neighbors, the Malihini and Yana. Be very, very safe on the streets. Be very safe in the mountains. Be very safe in the ocean. I just want to say every day is a Thanksgiving, but for all of you folks tuning in, happy Thanksgiving to all of you, to you and yours. Great health and great safety here in our garden island in Kauai. And tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la. Happy holidays. Take care of your family, your friends, and neighbors, the Malihini and Naina. We check you guys out with next only.
Walaau, 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 walaau.